we see the behaviour of JLP Member of Parliament for South West St. Catherine, Everett Warmington. You know, what do you think about his behaviour as a professional and as a person representing his country and his constituency?
Mr. Holiness, you need holiness. And right now the country in a mess.
It's like a little child, you know? Just like a little child, for real. It's not my behavior.
So would you say that he should get his act together?
Yeah man, for real.
Okay.
Totally for real.
In your opinion, is Daryl Vaz a very good spokesman or he's just a big show-off? Because we see that he's very charismatic and we see where he has the power to lift the crowd and let the crowd go wild. You think that he's very good in that area where he has, you know, good talks, can, you know, empower the crowd, or he's just a show-off?
Just a show-off.
In your opinion?
Yeah.
Why? Just give us a little.
Well, it's a man, when him hold the mic, come out clear.
Okay. So, in your opinion though, are the political leaders taking the campaign too critical with the name calling and slandering each other's name? What's your view?
Well, it's just like a little team, you know, like when two teams are playing and the team will come out to the final answer against them one another, win the match.
Okay.
So it's just like a little fun right now.
Alright, so at the JLP rally, we hear where a voice note was played, said to be Dr. KD Knight, and he was saying that, you know, Mark Golding should not become the Prime Minister of Jamaica. What's your opinion on that? What do you think?
Not Augusta, it was a splice.
Splice?
Yeah, that's a splice.
Some people said that he was recorded off, not realizing that he was off here.
No, not Augusta, brother.
Okay.
That was a splice.
So give a reason why someone should or should not vote for the people's for the Jamaica Labour Party.
Because right now they mash the country. They wreck the country, brother. Honestly, they wreck the country.
Why? So in that booklet that the Prime Minister was giving out in the Half-Age, you don't think that much of his work was shown in that,
no,
and it should be appreciated by Jamaicans?
No.
Okay, give a reason why the people should vote for the People's National Party.
Because right now the party right now to come out with good things to the people. Good things to the people.
So you're basically saying they have a lot in store?
Yeah man.
So you don't think the People's National Party is broke?
No man. They're not broke man.
Why?
Them have it man.
How do you know that?
How do we know that?
Yeah.
Come here, tell us to them have it.
Okay, well thank you for your honest opinion.
Yeah.
Right, so evening uncle, so we have seen Mr. Everett Warmington's behaviour throughout the campaign season and oftentimes in the House of Parliament. You know, what do you think about his behaviour?
I think by name and nature, I am Brother Peter Xavier Williams. 92 years old I am today. Yes, and I know you remember me because we served together in a certain organization. I think that your star in your corner, so to speak, and I know that you're going to go from strength to strength, and may the good Lord bless and keep you always as you always wish for everyone else around you. Peace, perfect peace. Brother Warmington, God bless you.
What do you think about his behavior?
Well, it's warlike, so name and nature, we have to fight for the right we adore.
Okay, so in your opinion, is Mr. Daryl Vaz a good spokesman or is he just a show?
I knows him too, and he is a determined person in whatever he says he's going to do. I know him very well as I deal with both Brother Warmington and Brother Vaz in Parliament.
Okay. Are the political leaders taking this campaign thing too critical with the name calling and the slandering of each other?
Well, I only noticed that is being one-sided.
Okay, so you said that one side is doing the slandering mostly?
Mostly. You see, but when temper roses, you'll never know what will happen. Because we're all soldiers fighting for the right we adore.
Okay.
Bless you.
At the rally, we hear where a voice note was played that was said to be Mr. Dr. KD Knight, saying that he don't think that Mr. Golding should become the Prime Minister of Jamaica. What's your opinion on that?
I heard that, and I know that he's an attorney at law. See, and so whatever he says, he's only defending his voice, but he does not realize that his true voice was recorded elsewhere.
Okay, so you don't think it was some type of computer editor, computer
No,
manipulated?
no, I do not think so.
Okay. All right, Uncle. So give a reason why, you know, a person should vote for the Jamaica Labour Party or why they should not.
Amen. There are none so blind as those who will not see. There are none so dumb who will not speak. There are none so deaf as who will not hear and see the good work that is being done all around them.
Okay, so why should someone vote for the People's National Party, or why should they not vote for the People's National Party?
I think they're blind.
Think they are blind? In what way? Why would you
They
say
refuse to see what is around them. They close their eyes to see. Because I have been to St. Thomas long time, and now St. Thomas is like going to heaven from Kingston.
Okay. Thank you for your honest opinion.
Yeah, man. God bless.
All right.
Every child must learn. However, a study done by Professor Floyd Morris in 2011 revealed that while 46% of these interviews supported inclusive education, 96% indicated that they cannot provide adequate support to students with disabilities. While this study was some time ago, antidotes suggest that any improvement has not been enough. What will appear to be government do differently?
Yeah. Well, we have our spokesperson for education here, and I'll give him the opportunity to speak on that matter when you hear from him. What I would just say to you is that we are committed to an education system which benefits all, and where special needs are identified early, and where the necessary arrangements are in place so that we can accommodate those needs as best we can, and do so in an inclusive way, rather than a way that condemns people to be, isolated from the rest of society. That is not the approach we favor. We favor approaches where persons are brought in to participate in society, and are given the necessary support so that they can do so as best as possible. I should also mention that we have among our team, Comrade Maureen Weber, who is an advocate, a strong advocate for persons with disabilities. And she herself has a person with disability in her family, and so she has lived the life of somebody who has always been standing up for the rights of persons with disabilities. And I'm sure that when we form government, she will continue to play that role as well. Make sure we deliver on the things that we're talking about today.
Okay, sir. A UNICEF study in 2022 indicates that families with a child with disability are often unable to meet or provide all the services required for their child. It went on to suggest that 43% of them choose unemployment as they have no one to leave their child with. Okay, sorry.
Yes. No, I mean, we're absolutely aware of this, and there are many parents here, and you can hear some of the responses to the question coming from the audience, that it's not a choice. They have to do it. And the question is, like, how can we try and make that situation better? We want to work with faith-based organizations and other organizations that may be represented here to implement options that can provide some kind of assistance to parents to allow them to work while ensuring that their child or young adult is being cared for. You know, we have to go into the communities and see how we can use assets that exist in the community that cannot be fully utilized to provide that kind of support for parents. You know, it's critical. We're aware that the path, for example, doesn't treat the fact that a household has full responsibility for a child or young adult with a disability as being a basis for additional support. And we're going to look at how we can change that. There needs to be some kind of disability allowance within the class system to take into account the needs of families and parents in dealing with the situation. And you know, so these are some of the things that can be done and will be done to try and make the life of families and parents in particular easier in managing the situation that they found themselves in. So I want to thank you, Cara, for this interview and for affording me the opportunity to speak on some of these ideas. And we will talk some more in due course.
Most definitely, sir. Disability Association, all the persons there with disability, parents who is here with your child with disability, I guess they are overwhelmed with all the good news and the plans that the PMP
Thank you. So I think I come off the platform this week and then somebody else comes on. The People's National Park. And also I mentioned Hope Valley Experimental School was established under the PMP in the 1970s. Again, my father had an integral role in that. My father was not a politician, but he was very involved in institution building. And so he had to deal with government a lot and got the support of the PNP government to establish the Hope Valley Experimental School. And you see my friend Julian Robinson here who went to that school. Yeah. And of course that was a school set up for what were then known as able-bodied children and children with disabilities to go to school in the same place and kind of learn to just function normally with each other and understand each other and what it is like, you know, for others who are maybe not have the same physical situation as them. So those are some of the things I would say that that the PNP had championed, and we have a plan now for when we next form government, and we want to establish a disabilities fund. And our target initially is to start it with $1 billion, and that fund. That fund is not to displace or replace the existing arrangements and budgetary allocations within government and government agencies that support persons with disabilities. It is supposed to be incremental, additional funding, but dedicated now to target specific issues facing persons with disabilities. So, for example, it could assist organizations that support and advocate for the rights of persons with disabilities. It could assist individuals who need assistive devices and aids to acquire those. It could assist persons, for example, who have a prosthesis that needs repair and want to be able to access the cost of repairing their prosthesis. Right now that's a gap that doesn't exist. And we need to fill that gap, right, Cara?
Sure.
Yeah. So these are some of the things that fund will be able to do. And other things like fixing up sidewalks to make them traversable for persons who are in wheelchairs and that kind of thing. So we are committed to taking this Disabilities Act that we passed. We want to take it to the next level by actualizing it in the lives of the people. So it's not just a law that exists on the books, but it is something that really has an impact on improving the quality of life and opportunities for persons with disabilities.
Very well said, sir. Okay. Alright. How does the PMP plan to ensure that persons with disabilities have a strong voice in national decision making and political participation.
Yes. Well, our party is built on certain principles, and participatory democracy, which is a long word or two long words, is a fundamental principle for us. So that means that we believe that government must be informed by persons being involved in the process of anything that impacts them. So applying that principle to the community of persons with disabilities, we would want to see that community brought into the mainstream as much as possible of how countries run on a day-to-day basis. So institutions of the government, public boards and so on, we would want to see more persons with disabilities brought onto public boards so that their voice can be heard where decisions are being taken that affect the community of persons with disabilities. We would also like to establish what we could call consultative councils, where persons with disabilities at the national and parish levels are represented to ensure that their voices are heard on issues that affect their lives. So, for example, we envisage encouraging the municipal corporations to establish these kind of consultative councils with the community of persons with disabilities in their jurisdiction, in their parish, for example, or in the KSAMC, so that the issues of persons with disabilities are constantly being brought to the fore, and where the people who have the resources to spend and to allocate and make decisions around that can hear what those issues are. And that means you should have a more responsive government at the grassroots level, moving right up to the top.
Very much so. Okay then, moving on. The question number 37. Okay. You indicated that the PNP introduced sign language in Parliament, a historic first. How has that step influenced inclusion and representation, particularly for the deaf community in Jamaica?
Yes, well, it was a historic step to introduce the use of sign language in Parliament, so that parliamentary debates are covered not only through the media broadcasting what is being said and so on, but also broadcasting.
Hot water channel, straight to the max. Bring the thing to the people then. Original generous speed. Same way. Man, big up hot water channel, enough ice cream.